Boom, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is, of course, your boy, Nolan Hawkeye, Anthony here. And I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, wherever you may be, and however you may be listening. I got another reaction video for you guys, a little post-game reaction. Relaxed show. I don't really know what that means. When I say relaxed, what I think that means is it's not live, meaning so it's more relaxed. And well, yeah, it's just not live, and it's not a pre-recorded in that I pause it and edit the video and things like that. I just hit the record button and go straight on through. So the Iowa Hawkeyes men's basketball team defeated the Utah State Aggies last night in what is definitely a solid win. I mean, and I knew this going into the game. I checked Utah State out. I checked their net ranking, and I'll pull that up also. But as you guys can see here, let's see, Iowa State here at 47th. So according to Ken Pom, Iowa State is not as good as their record suggests. Virginia is, I just saw them, 57th, and Utah State is actually higher at 55th with an 8-4 record. That would squarely put them in the NCAA tournament. Maybe not squarely, but pretty close. Pretty close. I'm gonna pull up their net ranking as well here. Let's pull that up. But it was a good win from the Iowa Hawkeyes. There were some moments where, it was classic Iowa. I got to say, and I'm going to let you guys know who the best lineup was and just, all of my thoughts from last night. And, well, to be honest, every game put together up to this point. I used to think it's just so weird because the early Fran McCaffrey teams, the early ones, were like top 50 defensive teams. I mean, I guarantee if I go back to what year did Mike Gesell and Adam Woodbury play? Let's see. Adam Woodbury is probably the most disappointing Iowa Hawkeye ever, I would say. Definitely under Fran McCaffrey, because every solidly ranked guy that has gone to Iowa, you got Joe Wieskamp, Luka Garza, Tyler Cook, Pat McCaffrey, all of them are good. They have had solid careers. Mike Gesell, I mean, he's up there with Adam Woodbury for being kind of disappointing. What they did by bringing the Iowa Hawkeyes back into contention was good, but was it because of them, or was it because of Jared Uthoff and Aaron White and Peter Jock? But anyways, so he was at Iowa from 2012 to 2016. All right. Let's look up the 2013 season. There, Iowa is 29th. And see, right there, the 58th best defense. Wait, no. They had the 24th best defense. 24th. Look at that. Right here. 24th. Which was actually better than their offense. So what I'm getting at is Fran McCaffrey teams are capable of defending. They really are. And I used to think that it was due to just a lack of effort, but that's not it. You know, I can look back and look at multiple examples of, well, Iowa working really hard on the defensive end, competing on the defensive end. But the reality is, and last night absolutely proved it, is Iowa, the recent Iowa teams just aren't fundamentally sound coached defensive teams. They're just not. You know, last night they were over rotating, closing out way too hard on shooters. You know, there is a very fundamental way to close out on shooters. You chop step, put your hands up, and then you get back into stance. Boom, 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 boom. It's kind of hard to do it under a desk, but so I think that, and I don't think that that's going to change until they spend a significant amount of time on rotations, on things like that, on closing out, things like that. It's just not going to change. It's just not. Which is what it is, it is what it is. And I do think that there is, I don't know what Fran McCaffrey thinks, but I think there's a limit to how far you can go with an excellent offense. At some point, a team is going to D you up and you have to D them right back. So anyways, let's look at the current Iowa Hawkeyes, who are 26th by the Ken Palm, fourth in offensive efficiency in the country, and 111 in defensive efficiency. Now, granted, Utah State is an excellent offensive team. Well, not excellent, but good. They are 38th in offensive efficiency and 81st in defensive efficiency, which, to be honest, I think I would rather, in a perfect world, Iowa would be top 25 in offensive efficiency and top 80 in defensive efficiency. I'm not asking Iowa defense to be elite, just fine, just good, just okay. Anyways, let's look at the net rankings here. Arizona first. Wow. Spooky. Let me see if I can find that. By the way, if you're not subscribed, smash that subscribe button because subscribing makes you feel good. I think I lost a sub yesterday, and I don't want to put too big of an emphasis on it. I don't really think I was being rude. See, guys, I'm someone who believes adamantly in free speech and disagreement. But, I don't know. It wasn't personal. I'll just say that. It was not meant to be personal. Come back to me, please. So the Iowa defense just is not, I just don't think it's going to change, regardless of how athletic of a basketball team, which Iowa has. They are an athletic team. They really are. Here it is. They are an athletic team. I would say that this is probably Iowa's most athletic team under Fran McCaffrey. I mean, they are legit athletic all the way through. Point guard, shooting guard, forward, Philip Rebraca is undersized at center, but he is still a solid athlete for a 6'9" guy. All right, let's look at the net rankings here. Iowa State is 15th. I don't know when the last time these were updated. Gosh, I got a headache. I went out last night for my birthday dinner and I had 2 mimosas and I got a little headache now. Let's see when the last time these were updated. Through December 17th. And Iowa's win was December 18th. So Iowa is 32nd in the net ranking, which is okay. It's fine. You know, considering they have 3 losses, it's just fine. Let's see where Utah State is at. Utah Valley, Grand Canyon. That's where I got my master's degree at. Where is Utah State? I feel like I've passed them already, because I know they aren't this far down. There they are, 35th. I mean, that's a legit net ranking. It really is. I mean, it's higher than KenPom. So Iowa defeated a legit team last night. I know Utah State is not a household name, but regardless, the stats don't lie. And Iowa picked up a solid victory. By the way, on Google, it has the Hawkeyes as 9-3. I don't think they are. I think they're 8-3. Let's take a look real quick at how many wins Iowa has had. See if we can figure this out. Let's just go to Iowa's here. That's it. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8. So Google has it wrong. If Google has it wrong about Iowa's record, what else do they have wrong? Let's take a look at the stats here. The best lineup of the night was Aaron Eulis, and I hate to say this, and this is going to surprise some people who, by the way, I want you guys to know that I have said that this Iowa team, and if you have watched me going all the way back to this, that the Luka Garza team, after Tyler Cook declared for the NBA draft, when everybody was saying, woo, they'll be lucky to win 15 games. Woo, they'll be lucky to win 15 games. Your boy said, no, they'll be a 21 team. And they were. The best lineup was Eulis, Perkins, Connor McCaffrey, Keegan, and Chris Murray. That was the best lineup. And people who have watched me, they know I'm not the biggest fan of Jordan Bohannon, and I'm not. You know, I think the problem with Jordan Bohannon, and I am almost confident that if there was like some advanced data I could look at, that Jordan Bohannon, even on his best shooting nights, would be in the minus. He would be a minus player. And the reason being is that no matter how well he does offensively, his defense is so poor. And even if the guy that he's guarding doesn't score on him directly, the help that the rest of the Iowa team has to give to J-Bo's man just makes it so the whole unit is screwed. So I am not the biggest J-Bo fan. And I think at this point, he should be coming off the bench. I think he should be a sixth man. And, just trying to add some three-point shooting to this Iowa Hawkeye team. I don't think he should be a key piece. But I used to argue that I thought Joe Toussaint should start over J-Bo. And I feel good about that. I don't think that I was wrong with that. I remember it was a very, very polarizing discussion because J-Bo is beloved. He really is. I mean, Iowa fans love J-Bo, and that's fine. I don't care about that. That's totally fine. But when I look at it just purely on the hoop side. The results of basketball, what I see with my basketball eye. And so I used to argue for Joe Toussaint. And now, it's pretty close between him and Aaron Eulis. But I got to say, Eulis is just smoother. Joe Toussaint is he's so choppy. He's so erratic. I love the energy Joe Toussaint gives. I love the passion he gives. But I think at this point, he's a junior in college. He is who he is. He's not a great shooter. He is a little bit undersized, not too much, but a little bit. He's about 6 foot, 6'1". And Aaron Eulis is about 6'3". I just think Eulis is better. Like I said, it's marginal. It's not super close, it's not super wide, the gap, but I do think Eulis is better. I do. But that's not something that I'm willing to start pounding the table yet on a need to make a change. It's just a casual comment that I'm making right now. So these are the Utah State stats. By the way, if you didn't watch the game was pretty much tied, going back and forth for the first, I would say, 10, 15 minutes. And then the Iowa Hawkeyes took a lead with the unit that I just told you guys, Eulis, Perkins, C-Mac, Chris and Keegan Murray. And then they went back to their starting lineup, which was Joe Toussaint, J-Bo, Patrick McCaffrey, and those guys, and they lost the lead. They did. But they did end up extending the lead. I think Iowa was up 51-43 at the half. I'm pretty sure that that's what it was. But they were really starting to pull away with the lineup that I just said to you guys. And then the second half happened, and pretty much the whole second half, the Iowa Hawkeyes were in control. Utah State never really got into striking distance. There were a few times where they were knocking on the door a little bit, but it wasn't like a nail biter or anything like that. It was a pretty smooth contest. And to be honest, with about 10 minutes to go in the game, it was a double, about a 15-plus point lead that the Iowa Hawkeyes had. So it was an easy cushion. Iowa had a 20-plus point lead under 7 minutes, I would say, maybe 5, probably 7, I think. So Keegan Murray had 35 points. I really thought he was going to hit 40. I really did. He had 20-plus points in the first half. They just couldn't stop him. Just could not stop him. Patrick McCaffrey had a nice night with 12 points. Philippe Rebraca had 7 points. J-Bo had 11 points, still playing 22 minutes these days. Joe Toussaint with 4 points. He had a nice drive coast to coast to the basket. Then he had a nice little jump stop, pump fake, nice little shot in the paint that he hit. yeah, Joe Toussaint is such a weird player because he's so athletic. But I don't know if it's because he's so athletic that it causes him, because you look at players like a Luka Doncic who are very methodical operators, slow, quite frankly, and but they get to where they want. Whereas you look at a guy like Joe Toussaint and you're like, how are these guys beating him to the spot and taking charges on? He's so athletic. So I don't know. But Joe Toussaint had an okay night. I'm not necessarily upset with Joe Toussaint's night. Chris Murray had 17 points only in 19 minutes. Folks, honestly, Chris Murray is probably Iowa's best three-point shooter outside of Jordan Bohannon. He has a very, very smooth left-handed stroke. Very effortless. It's an effortless shot. Very good form. Smooth, good-looking three-point shot. So he had an excellent night. Aaron Eulis had 4 points. I like the way he played. He had a couple turnovers here and there, but what I like about Eulis is he's just a gamer. He had 2 steals that directly resulted in points, but were just very heady plays. Very, very heady plays. Very uncanny. And that's kind of like what you're looking for in your point guard, is to come up with plays like that. So, he only had 4 points, and the other thing I like about Eulis is he pushes the envelope. He gets in the paint. He utilizes the whole half court. Oftentimes, literally, he gets to the baseline with the basketball and finds somebody to kick it out to. Boom, boom. And I like that. He's a good passer. Now, yeah, did he have a couple turnovers? Yeah, counting it, I think he had 3. He had one when he passed it to Tony Perkins on a fast break after getting the steal. He had one passing it to like Patrick McCaffrey in the paint. Couple of those where he passed it into the 2 of those where he passed it into the paint, and there was just too much traffic in there. But I think that you can chalk it up to him just being young. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he's still a redshirt freshman. Let's see what else. Tony Perkins had a rough night. None of his shots were falling. But again, you can live with that with Tony Perkins because he is so good defensively. And dang, is he athletic. I mean, holy smokes. He would have made an excellent linebacker. I mean, he really would. That will improve, from Tony Perkins. I'm okay with the night he had. Shots just weren't falling. Connor McCaffrey, it's funny. Sometimes he can be so frustrating because he doesn't shoot. But I look at his time as an Iowa Hawkeye, and pretty much every lineup he's in, it's the best lineup because he knows what it takes to win. He's good on defense. He doesn't take terrible shots on offense. He draws the defense out. He pump fakes, and he gets a better shot because he knows Iowa has better options. I like Connor McCaffrey. Always have. He is exactly what you need. A very unselfish, smart, high IQ basketball player. I think it's going to be interesting to see moving forward who out, because Iowa right now has four guards. Okay. You have Joe Toussaint, Jordan Bohannon, Connor McCaffrey, and Aaron Eulis, and Tony Perkins. And I would say it's pretty much interchangeable. I don't think any of them are clearly better than the other. I think it's like a game by game feel. Now, in my opinion, I would rather have Eulis and Perkins play more minutes because they have a higher ceiling. They're younger. You know what Jabo and Connor McCaffrey and, quite frankly, Joe Toussaint are. You know what they are. But even with Joe Toussaint, I think there's a little bit of room for him still to grow. But you know what Jabo and Connor McCaffrey are. You know what they are. So, anyways, the Iowa Hawkeyes got the win. The one question mark I have with like Josh Ogundele and looking at Riley Mulvey, he still has his young man body. He needs to hit the weight room soon. But Josh Ogundele looked so good against Virginia, and he is so tenacious. He got in there and got a dunk. I don't know why Iowa is not playing him more. They're going to need him in Big Ten play. Plain and simple. Peyton Sandfort has kind of slid down the bench. He's just, I think ultimately Peyton probably redshirts because the Hawkeyes just have too many options, especially at forward. I mean, they really do. They have Keegan, Chris, Patrick, Phillip, Connor. So they have options at the forward position. The only reason I would say Peyton doesn't redshirt is because of how good of a three-point shooter he is. But if he's barely going to shoot in his limited minutes, well, then what is he adding to your lineup? Not saying he's a poor defender or anything like that, but seriously. So I do think he probably ends up redshirting, which is probably the best. He needs to get bigger. He needs to get thicker, and he needs to get his man body. Let's look at the team stats real quick. Iowa shot 54.7%, 30.8% from three, 76.2% on the charity stripe. That's good. And they won the rebound battle. They had 35 rebounds to 23 rebounds. And Utah State is not a small team. They're not. They are, they are a legit team. If they were in the Big Ten, would they be a good team? No, probably not night in, night out. They don't have the athletes to do that. But compared to the other group of five schools, the mid-major schools, they have legit size. They matched up just fine against the Iowa Hawkeyes size-wise. Now, athletically, not so much, or skillfully, not so much. So, but that's good that the Iowa Hawkeyes got the rebound advantaged. The Iowa Hawkeyes will need to figure that out. The Iowa Hawkeyes also had 21 assists. They had 9 turnovers and 11 steals. That's awesome. The Iowa went to their press, and I got to be honest, and I said this last time. You guys know I did, that they are going to need to use that press more often. They're just going to need to. I don't know why Fran is so stubborn with the press, because whatever's best for your team is best for your team. Enough of this, pretty bad. what does pretty basketball look like? What do, the higher escalante of basketball people think is the most pure basketball? Is it man to man? Who cares? Whatever is best for your team is best for your team. And if that is pressing, then it is what it is. Listen, Fran, if you are not good enough to get your guys ready man to man in the half court, well, I'm sorry, you have no other choice but to press. And to be honest, that is probably the strength of your team, is the length of and the athleticism of your forwards, Chris, Keegan, and Patrick McCaffrey. Well, Murray's Chris and Keegan Murray. So that's what they are going to have to do. So, like I said, I think the best lineup the Iowa Hawkeyes have, or had definitely last night, was Ulis, Perkins, C-Mac, Murray, and Murray. I feel confident that the stats would bear that out. I really do. Overall, this was a solid win. I was happy with what the Hawkeyes did. They picked up a resume win that, and they have 2 resume wins going into Big Ten play, Virginia and Utah State. Are they a top 25 net? Do they have a top 25 caliber win? No, but when you look at a resume, you pretty much just add up the best wins. You add up high caliber wins and terrible losses. And right now, Iowa has 0 bad losses, as Illinois, Iowa State, and Purdue are all considered NCAA tournament caliber teams. And the 2 of the 8 wins you have are NCAA caliber wins. That is 2 resume building wins. As long as the Iowa Hawkeyes go 10-10 or 500 in Big Ten play, I think they'll be in the NCAA tournament. I really do. Let's look at who the Hawkeyes have left on the schedule. I just wanted to look at Utah State's roster real quick because, looking at their team last night, honestly, it reminded me of some of the teams I used to play out here in California. Well, the West Coast, really. Utah, Australia, Utah, Maryland, England, California, Orange, California, Ukraine, Poland, North Carolina, Maryland, Utah, Netherlands, Utah, Bahrain, Utah, Oklahoma, and Utah. Not very many Californians. I thought there was going to be a few California guys on the roster, but this is a classic mid-major school. Half the roster is made up of foreigners because, well, that's where you have to recruit when you can't necessarily recruit super good in your own country. So yeah, so that just is what it is. All right, let's look at who the Hawkeyes have left on their schedule, and then we will get out of here. I do expect Iowa to climb up the net rankings with this win. The one game that I wish Iowa had won, I don't care about the Purdue loss. Even though Iowa absolutely had a chance to win that game, I wish they would have beat Illinois. I mean, that game was there for the taking. But Iowa, just quite frankly, they got bullied in the second half. Iowa has Western Illinois and Southeast Louisiana coming up, and that is it. So the Hawkeyes should be 10-3 going into Big Ten play again. Let's look up Western Illinois, see if they are a decent team. They might be. I don't know. I doubt it, though. Yeah, we're already in the 120s. 120s. Oh, 159, Western Illinois right here. So, but they're 9-2. So, that's not so bad. So, but still, regardless, Iowa should pick that win up. I was trying to see if I could find Southeast Louisiana, but it's kind of hard because these are kind of small here. Grand Canyon's 10-2. That's nice. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I can't really see Southeast Louisiana, but I can do this here. See Southeastern Louisiana. They lost to Louisville, Southern U. So the Iowa Hawkeyes should beat Southeast Louisiana. Let me see if I can just do this. Southeastern. Let's do that. And then they play Iowa State here soon. So, yeah, I can't really see it. I can't see what their ranking is. Let me go back. So, listen, folks, the bottom line is Iowa is in just fine shape. I'm totally fine with where they are currently at. I wish they would. I think, in my opinion, they had chances to beat Purdue and Illinois. Iowa State just smashed them. But this Iowa team, I'm kind of bullish about them because the all-around talent is good, and Keegan Murray is a legit NBA prospect. He won't be at Iowa very much longer. He's gone after this year. I hate to say it, but he is, which it sucks, but it's the truth. He gone. I mean, he's that good. He's a first-round NBA prospect. But, so they have that. They have veteran leadership. They have some shooting, not as much as they had last year, but they have some shooting. They're an excellent offensive team. They are more athletic than they have been in the past. And quite frankly, I think that there's still a lot of room for growth for guys like Chris Murray, Patrick McCaffrey, Aaron Eulis, Tony Perkins. I think there's still a lot of room for growth within their games. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find Southeast Louisiana. That's kind of hard, though. They're not very good, I don't think. So I'm pretty high on this Iowa team. Do I think they're as good as last year? Not right now. I don't. But I do think they can play at that level. I really do. I think the one thing that should be concerned the two things is the lack of three-point shooting. But I think that is manageable, especially if Chris Murray and Patrick McCaffrey start to shoot better. And the rebounding. But again, the rebounding is something that you can work on. You can work on that. Rebounding is not just about athleticism and size. It is about desire. So I can't find Southeast Louisiana. But so it is what it is. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I just wanted to have a quick little relaxed reaction to Iowa Hawkeye hoops getting let's see what they ended up winning by last night. Getting the 94-75 win over the 8-5 Utah State Aggies, who are top 40 in the net rankings and top. They are 55th in the Ken Palm rankings, so they are a legit team. This was a legit win. The South Dakota Arena, I was texting one of my buddies, and it seems like South Dakota is an Iowa Hawkeye state. Maybe it's not, I don't know, but sure hell seemed like a lot of Iowa fans. If I had to guess, I would say South Dakota is probably a mixture of a lot of Iowa fans, a lot of Minnesota fans, and of some Wisconsin fans. I think it's probably predominantly Iowa and Minnesota, maybe some Wisconsin in there. All right, guys, hit that subscribe button because subscribing makes you feel good. And last but not least, I will put the PayPal link in the description if you want to donate to the show monetarily. Share, like, comment. You got the gist. I try and comment to every comment because that's the least I can do. And be sure to check out the pre and the post game show. Oh, follow me on Twitter at 247 Hawkeye. Let's put that up right quick. And other than that, that is it, y'all. So I hope you guys have a great Saturday or Sunday, excuse me. I will be doing the Iowa versus Kentucky preview video here soon and dropping that. And so be looking for that. All right, guys. DBAP, don't be a pussy with all facts or feelings. Your feelings don't matter. Love y'all. Go Hawks. Bye.